Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be talking about Listing Manager and some of the functions and features that we have with Listing Manager. This is going to be something that you can this is going to be one of the core modules that you could use in your for the marketing requirements of your listings as well as your business. You would either be marketing your listings or using listings to market your services. So both would really point to this module and how you would want to utilize this module in order to make the best out of the exposure of listings on your website. So in this module, you have basically two sections here. At the top, we have some numbers for you. It'll give you a total available listings that are for sale, total available listings that are for lease, that are available in your listing manager, basically. The total number of sold properties or leased properties that are available in your listing manager, and then also the total commission earned. So that's basically part of the financial modules that we've already had videos on. You can look that up and take a look in there as well. You can, in fact, record transactions for your listings and be able to monitor, income and expenses on a specific property, as well as track your commissions, etc. So those are the things that would be available on your listing manager right here. Now, at the bottom here, we have the set of listings that are available. You have the MLS number. You have the type. You can see that it could be a residential property. It could be a condo, a commercial property, a new development like this one. These are the different types of properties that you can add to your listing manager, and you can manage them accordingly. You have the address, just so that you can be able to remember which is which. You might not be able to remember the MLS numbers. That's why we have the address here as well, so that it can really, clarify which one of these properties are, to remind you where they are located. We have a column for tags, which I'm going to explain to you today. We have status, so that's basically the status shows you if a property is active for sale, or if it's already sold or leased, if it's inactive or expired or terminated. So that status is going to be displayed to you here in this column. We have the date that the property was added to your listing manager. We have a ranking here, which I will again explain to you, as well as the configurations for the exposure of the property. So that exposure would basically mean that whether the property is active or not, whether the property is featured or not. So these are the configurations that are available for the exposure, and then we have further configuration right here under the menu for each one of the properties here as well. So at the top here, we have a bulk action option as well, which you could tag or delete listings in bulk. So that's again another set of what's available here for individual listings. So that's again another button right here. Then we have the add new button right there, and the pre-construction gallery right here, which I'm going to explain to you shortly. All right, so let's quickly take a look at the website. So under the website, under the home page here, we have a featured properties section. So the featured properties section is where you can basically select properties and feature them on your home page. So this could be active properties like this one. It could be exclusive properties. It could be sold or leased properties like this one as well. You could also have new developments added to the homepage of your website as well. All of that is also available under the listings menu item right there. You have the featured listings in a separate page. You have the available listings, which are your brokerage listings. You have sold listings in a separate page. And we have exclusive listings in a separate page and new developments in a separate page as well. So you have different pages for different types of exposure that you're configuring here as well, in case you want to, forward your audiences to a different page rather than the home page with those specific type of properties available on them. So here we have the featured properties as well as the new developments. The brokerage properties would appear at the bottom here as well. So this recently listed properties, that's the brokerage properties right there, which are going to be automatically updated every several times during the day. Okay, let's get back to the listing manager. All right, so the first thing that would happen is that your own listings, if you're a listing agent, your own listings would automatically pop up here. So how that happens is that we are going to be able to, basically you don't have to do anything as long as your board number and your board configuration is correct on our system. The system is going to be able to detect when you have a property in MLS, and it's going to pull the property and automatically make it available on your listing manager. It will automatically have it featured as well, so that it will be included under the featured property section right here. All right, so that's for your own listings. If you want to manually add a listing from MLS to your listing manager, all you would need to do is to click on Add New and put in the MLS number here and click Add. So as soon as I put in an MLS number and add it in there, I'm going to be able to add a listing. So let's just go ahead and select one of these properties. So let's say I want to add this property to my listings. So all I would need is the property ID, the MLS number. I'm going to copy this, and then if we go back here, let's go up there. Let's go back in here. I'm going to paste the MLS number and click Add. So that property, there it is now added, 181 Bingham Avenue in Toronto. That's added to my listing manager. And as you can see, it's automatically activated and also featured on my website. So if I go ahead and refresh this page, on the home page, you can see that now this new property that I added is also featured on my home page. So this property is now available on the home page. Now, if I'm not the listing agent of this property, you might want to ask for permission to promote it on your website. But technically speaking, when the listing agent selects the option to allow for third parties to advertise the property, that would technically provide you with the permission to promote the property on your website. It is already included under search on all the different agent portals, and you should be able to promote them as a featured property as well. This section does not take ownership in any way, and it basically features specific properties, which could be yours or could be other listing agents. So once you have that property listed, then when someone comes to your website, this would be one of the first properties that they would be exposed to. This would allow, just a second, please. Give me a second, please. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've added the listing to my listing manager now. Let's click on Add New again. There are two more options to add listings to your listing manager as well. So the other option is the non-MLS exclusive option. So you're going to be able to add exclusive listings to your system as well. Now, adding exclusive listings, we have a separate video on this. You can take a look at that, but I'll just quickly go over it and show you what can be done here. So firstly, you would select the category, if it's an assignment, if it's an exclusive listing, if it's a coming soon to MLS listing. So you'd basically be able to select the type. You have the property type, property subtype, for sale or for lease. You're going to be able to put in the address, the street number and everything, the municipality, street name, all that information. Once you put in the address fully, you're going to be able to generate geocoordinates. So that's going to be able to allow you to determine where on the map the property is going to be showing. Prices and dates are going to be the next section. So the list price, the expiry date, the taxes, etc. So all that information would be available there. The property characteristics, you're going to be able to select, the type, lot front, lot depth. So that information is going to be available there. Exterior information, the features of the property. So all that can be selected here. If you have a virtual tour, you can put in the virtual tour link down here. Then you have the remarks for clients, you have the extras, you have the broker remarks as well. So it's very similar, to what you experience on MLS. You can also specify the co-op commission right here. If you would like to display the address or not, especially for commercial properties, you sometimes don't want to display the exact address. So you can have the address up there, it's no problem. And then down here, you can select for the property, for the system not to display the exact address. So it'll only include the neighborhood for the display purposes. You can then select whether you would like this to be advertised on our external portal or not. So that's another thing that we have available. If you select yes there, the property is going to be promoted on exclusive hub.ca free of charge. So that's going to be an external exposure to your exclusive property. And as you can see, for instance, in this case, all that property that's been added is connected to you, so that any communication from this portal would be directly coming to you, so that you can have an exposure for this property on your website, an exposure for this property on exclusivehub.ca as well, which is going to give you some extra exposure. If you are working with one of the brokerages that have their website with us as well, your exclusive listing will also be promoted on your brokerage website, which will again give you another exposure. You don't have to worry about those extra portals that the property is going to appear on, because anything that appears anywhere is going to be directly connected to you. So any client communication or requests or inquiries are going to be routed directly to you, so that you can benefit from the maximum exposure that you can have for your exclusive properties, and hopefully being able to close the property while it's still exclusive with you. So you're going to be able to add an exclusive listing right here under this non-MLS exclusive tab right there. I'll quickly show you the exclusive hub access here in the back end as well. So that's the front end of it. You have the back end exclusive hub as well. So these are all the exclusive properties that are available from our other clients. You're going to be able to search through and find those properties as well, see what's available, and get in touch with the agents as well. So each one of these properties will give you a property detail sheet where you can see information such as the commission offered for the buyer agent, and all the information that would be available right there. So that is also another section of the system, the exclusive hub, which you can benefit from by the use of exclusive listings. So you go to Listing Manager, you click on Add New, and you're going to be able to add exclusive properties that way. Next, we have the New Development tab as well. So you're going to be able to add new developments under the New Development tab. So again, it's similar. It's the nature of the content that would be available here is a little bit different. Things like, project name, building, the builder name, developer information, estimated time of delivery. Those are the kind of things that can be recorded here for a new development. Then you have a description, which is not text only. This is a full HTML description that can be added here. You can have pictures and videos and all sorts of, cool configuration for the description section here. And you can include things like incentives, like, payment breakdown. All of that information can be included in the description section. And then finally, you can click on Save and Proceed to Pictures. On the next page, you're going to be able to add pictures as well. Again, we do have videos on pre-constructions where you can see in more detail how you can add a pre-construction project. We might do another video next week on adding exclusive listings and pre-constructions as well. So make sure that you tune in so that we can discuss that in further details. Now, the exclusive listings, if I want to show you one, we're going to have a landing page like this one on your website, where you have the pictures at the top, like a sliding banner. Then you have all the information. That's the description part. As you can see, it can really be quite rich in terms of use of pictures and videos and all sorts of things. So you have all the information available. The deposit structure, for instance, you have all that information available in there. Price range and all that would be available. There's multimedia, so if there's video, that you can play the video here as well. We have the location, and then we have the VIP access registration form here at the bottom as well. So all that in the landing page is available like this, and you're going to be able to promote the pre-construction project right off of your website as well. Now, again, if you are working with a brokerage that's using our system brokerage-wide, you can also use this pre-construction gallery here as well. So the brokerage is going to make some of the pre-construction properties available to you. So you don't have to create them yourself. All you would need to do is to click on Add to Listings, and that pre-construction project is going to be added to your listing manager, and you can have it available automatically rather than having to go ahead and create a whole landing page on your own. So you can either create it yourself, or you can go to the pre-construction gallery if you're with one of the brokerages that have REMARKETER available brokerage-wide. Okay, before I continue, let me take 2 questions, because I feel that the questions are relevant to what we're talking about right now, and then we'll continue. So the first question is from Natasha. Thanks a lot for joining us, Natasha. So I think I already explained right now how you can add new developments, but let me quickly go over it again for you. So basically, if you want to add a new development to your website, you can either go ahead and click on Add New, go to the New Development section, and use this module in order to create a new development project. It's fairly simple, and you can also see a video on it as well. Also, if you are with one of the brokerages that are providing this service, you could use the pre-construction gallery. So that's um, again, we'll go into more details in a future video. Another one is from Maximum Results Team. Perfect. Thanks for being with us. How do I access featured properties again? Okay, so featured properties would be available under your listing manager. So if you go to your listing manager, and all the properties that have this heart switched on would be featured. So any property that's added to your listing manager would automatically be featured unless you don't want it. So it's good that you mentioned this right now. Let's go ahead and demonstrate this for you. So let me go back to the featured properties. And if you remember, we just added this property to my listing manager, and it's featured and available on my homepage under featured properties. And let's say I want to add this to my website, but I don't want it to be featured on the homepage. I want to have it available on my website for a different reason. Let's say I want to include that property in an email campaign, and I don't want to necessarily feature it on my homepage. So what I would do is I could go ahead and switch this heart icon off. Now the property is available, it is active on my website, so it would be accessible on my website. However, it's not featured anymore. So if I go ahead and refresh this, you see, it's gone. It's not featured under the featured properties. However, it's still accessible on my website. So I can select this in the drop downs when I want to do a listing courier campaign, for instance. So that would be switching on and off the to feature or not feature a listing. So I hope this answers your question there. All right, now let me go ahead and show you, now that you have listings available on your website, how you can use the tagging in order to be able to sort your properties on on different dynamic pages. So let's say that you want to promote properties that are good for investment purposes. So what you would do is that you would go into MLS and do your magic, search for properties, look at properties, and see that, find the ones that are good for investment purposes. So what I would do is that I would go ahead and select those properties and simply add them to my listing manager. So I've added two properties to my listing manager now. Let's say this one and this one. These are two properties that I've selected for the purpose of promoting as investment potentials. And I would like to create a dynamic page where I can, have these properties promoted on them. So what I'll do is that, firstly, I don't want these properties to be featured on my homepage because I've selected them for a different purpose. These are investment properties. I don't want them to be featured on my homepage. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take off the feature option right here, so they're not featured on my homepage anymore. Now, you see this one's got a tag, an investment tag. What I would need to do is to tag these properties as investment. So I'm going to select the properties, then go to bulk actions, select tag, and then select investment from the tags, or I can just type in investment. So if I had investment before, it's going to show up in the list and I can select it. Otherwise, I can add a new tag to my properties. Click on add, and you can see that these properties are also tagged as investment now. All right. Now that I have certain properties tagged as investment, I can go to my website and I can select, I can type in the address bar. This is a dynamic URL, so that URL is going to be available automatically. You don't have to create it. So you have your website, so www.yourname.com, for instance. So that's your website. And then you have a slash. After that, we have listings slash investment. Let me see. I might be wrong here. No, that's it. Listings slash investment. So this is dynamic, and you can put in any tag that you have at the end here, which is going to pull up all the properties with that specific tag. So now you have a list, you have a page with only properties that are good for investment. So you can easily go ahead and have let's say, a newspaper ad talking about the fact that you have properties that are good for investment. And for more information, go to this URL. That URL would be your website slash listings slash investment. And then people can basically come here. Now, you don't have to change this page anymore. This is dynamic. All you would need to do is to add new listings and tag them as investment. So for example, if I go ahead and select, let's say, this property as well, and tag it as investment, as soon as I refresh here, I now have 4 properties available for investment. So all those properties would appear here automatically. All I would need to do is to, add properties and then tag them accordingly, and they would appear under that. So if you look here, I have other tags here as well. So I have 2 properties here tagged as 1, 2, 3. So if I change this listings slash investment to listings slash 1, 2, 3, the system is going to pull up those 2 properties that were tagged as 1, 2, 3. I have another tag here, custom to. So let's go ahead and change this to custom to. So now those properties that have been tagged as custom to are going to be available here. So think of it in a creative way. You can have properties added to your listing manager. These could be a valuable service that you provide to your audience, because anyone can go to any MLS search and search for properties. But those searches are usually, just designed to have a minimum and maximum price and, property type and area, and those kind of things can be filtered in order to see properties. But you can't really get into the details of the property. That would require, a professional's eyes to assess the fact that, is this a good property for investment? Is this a good property for downsizing? Is this the good property for, builders? So those are, would require a human assessment, and that would be what you would be doing in order to find those right properties that would be, the best suitable properties available in a certain neighborhood, for instance, for an investor, or for a builder, for instance, or for somebody who's downsizing recently. And you can really have them promoted on your website using this tagging and dynamic link in order to give you the ability to talk to those audiences directly. And this way you'll be able to resonate with their need, and they're going to come to your website in order to see. So, rather than, I've been talking to a lot of agents, and when I tell them, what's your objective, what's your niche, what's your expertise, I've heard too many times that, I don't advertise an expertise. I just, I can go anywhere and serve anyone. I said, that's great. That's technically true. However, you should be able to target and you should be able to resonate with certain needs. So if you have an ad talking about the fact that you are a real estate agent and you can, buy and sell and, give you more money on closing compared to any other agent, that's fine. That's just generic advertising. However, if you have an ad in a newspaper which is talking about, I'm really working hard to provide services to people who are recently downsizing. So that, even though the audience is small, if there are a few people who would come across that ad that are actually downsizing, this would definitely resonate with them. And the possibility of these people coming to you is much, much, much higher than any other real estate agent. And that's how you can target. So you can run different campaigns targeting different needs. And this is one way of being able to cater to those needs simply by selecting properties from MLS that are hard to find and promoting them by the use of tagging and dynamic linking. So that's something that can definitely, you can really be expressive with it. You can really be quite um, innovative here. So I've seen agents who are promoting properties that are close to golf courses, for instance, for people who are into golfing, and that's a thing for them. I've seen people who are simply promoting gas stations, for example. So you can really be selective here and use this tagging in order to promote different, uh, specific types of properties that would resonate with specific needs of your audiences. All right. Okay. Now I want to show you another function here, and that would be sharing of your properties. So one of the things that we can do here is that you can add the property to your listing manager and you can feature it on your homepage and or on any interior pages of your website. However, you can also share your listing on your social media. So once you have it available, another thing that you could do, and I would definitely suggest that you do, is you go ahead and share your listing on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We don't have Instagram here yet because Instagram haven't yet opened up their platform for third-party sharing. However, you can still go ahead and manually share your listing on Instagram as well. So this is pretty simple and straightforward. You can just click share on Facebook and you can log in and share your listing on Facebook, on your Facebook fan page as well. Or you can share on Twitter or on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is a great platform, especially if you're promoting exclusive listings. You might also want to promote it on LinkedIn where it would be exposed to other, colleagues of yours. You can also email the listing to your clients. Now, this is a one-to-one email. So basically, if you want to send this to one of your clients, you can use this option down here. However, if you want to run an email campaign for your property, I would suggest that you use Listing Courier. So that's a whole email campaign management module. Again, we do have videos on this, but let me just quickly demonstrate for you here. So for example, if I want to add a new campaign here, I'll go to Listing Courier, add new, and let's say I want to send out a single detail flyer, which would include all the information here. So it's just a just listed campaign that I want to promote here. So I would put in the flyer title, just listed in, I don't know, uh, ABC area. And then I'll put in there, so beautiful property, just listed here, call me if you have any questions, etc., etc. So you put in your flyer message, continue, and now I can select the listing from the drop down here. So for instance, I have this 181 Benham Avenue here. I select it and it will automatically be added to my flyer right there. Do I want to show the price or not? Do I want to show the address or not? And I can just select the label here as well. So for instance, just listed would be my label. And then we have the campaign prepared for me. So you can see that the email campaign is quickly prepared. All you would need to do is save this and then go ahead and email it to, let's say, all your clients, send it away, and you have an announcement made to all of your contacts within seconds, not even a minute. So that's the integration, the beauty of integration. So you have your email campaign management under listing courier as well for your listing. So if you want to promote to as part of a campaign, go there. Otherwise, if you just simply want to send a feature sheet to one of your clients, you can just go ahead and select the email option and send it to the clients of choice. All right. Okay, another option that we have here with this drop down here is open house. So this is also a really good and cool feature, which would be used for your open houses. So instead of having a pen and pencil and want to register your visitors in your open houses on a piece of paper, which will at the end of the day end up in your drawer and no further actions are going to be taken on these very, very important leads that you're generating in your open houses, you have this module available for you. So what you do is that, let me go ahead and demonstrate this to you again. So let's say today is the open house for this property, 181 Bingham Avenue. So I'm going to be there and I'm going to use a tablet or my computer to have people register for my open house. So what I would need to do is to go to my listing manager, click on the drop down actions button right there and click on open house. So this is going to pull up the open house module. So I would have people who come to my open house register here. This is an auto loading form, so you don't have to close it and open it every time. As soon as somebody submits, it's available and ready for the next person to register here as well. So anyone who comes to your open house would register here. What happens is that this would automatically be connected to your CRM, to your list, to your contact manager. So the contacts would be created automatically. It will automatically send out an email with more information about this property to them so that they would have it handy for future references. It will automatically follow up with them as well with other similar properties as well as similar sold properties in the neighborhood as well. So these are the kind of actions that the system can take in order to make the most out of the communication possibilities with the leads that you're generating in your open house, which could quite possibly be your future clients. So it's very important to capitalize on the possibilities with your open house leads, and this will do that for you. So it's important for you to also use this. We also have this QR code here. Let me zoom in here so you can see for touchless registration. So if you have your tablet available there and you don't want to have people use that tablet to register, all you would need to do is to have them scan this QR code, and this form will pop up on their own phone, and they can register on their own phone without having to touch your tablet. So that's, again, another cool feature that's available for touchless registration for your open houses. So it's an integrated and connected open house registration system. You don't have to go through third parties. You can ditch that, pen and paper for good now. All right, we already saw tagging. Delete is self-explanatory. We also have another function here, which is a non-MLS copy. So if you want to make a copy of this listing as a non-MLS, all you would need to do is to go ahead and click on non-MLS copy. It will make a copy of this uh, uh, property as a non-MLS version. And then you could go ahead and make um, uh, basically changes to it. All right, so let's go ahead and click on edit. Okay, so there are certain things that you can edit here. So again, you can switch the status toggle to active or inactive. You can feature it. So this is the same thing as clicking on that heart icon that I just showed you. We also have the priority here. So the priority determines where in the list this property appears. So any one of the lists. So let's go back to the home page, for instance. So here we have a list, and I have added these properties on different dates. So by default, what happens is that the order of the properties is going to be based on the date that they've been added to the listing manager. So chronological order is the default way, as long as the priorities are the same. So a default priority is 3. If we go back to listing manager here, you can see here that the ranking is 3 for all listings that's been added there. So if I want this property, for example, let's say this property is important for me to be at the top of the list, even though it's been on the market for quite a while and there are other properties in front of it, because these are newer basically. But I still want this one to be at the top of the list. So that's how I'm going to be able to make the change. So let's see, which property was this? 219 St. Paul Street, for instance. So let's find that. There it is, 219 St. Paul Street. So what I would do is that I would click edit, and I'm going to increase the priority. I want it to be higher. So I'll increase the priority to 4 or 5 or 6, whatever it makes. So as long as the priority is higher than 3, it is going to be escalating in the list and sit at a higher priority. So I'm going to save this. So let's go back to listing manager now. So now you can see that this one is 4, where all the other ones are 3. So if I go ahead and refresh this section here now, you can see that the property is now sitting at the top of the list, even though it was older in terms of when it was added to the listing manager. So this way, this property will always stay at the top, and all the other properties that are being added to my listing manager would come right after this one. So this way I can make sure that this is at the very top. Now, let me give you another example. So let's go ahead and edit this again. Make this 3. Now let's say I want this property to be at the bottom of the list. So I want all my residential properties to be at the top, and then I want my commercial properties to be at the bottom of the list, for instance. So what I will do is that I'm going to reduce the priority now. So let's say I'm going to reduce the priority to 2 and save this. So all the other ones are 3, so they would be higher. This one is 2, so it will be lower. So now it will go all the way to the end of the list where it's available. So that priority can help you decide in which order a properties should sit. If the priorities are the same, which by default is 3 and all of them are 3, if the priorities are the same, then your listings are going to be ordered based on the date that they were added to your listing manager. Okay, Sorry about that. Let's go back to the edit. So there are other tabs here that you can select. Details. You're not going to be able to edit the details of an MLS property. Obviously, if there are any changes required, you should make the change to your MLS listing, and the change is going to be then propagated to your website as well from MLS, from your board's feed. But if you have a non-MLS or an exclusive listing, if you go to the details section, you're going to be able to edit information in there. So for example, if the price has changed, or if the any specific information about the property needs to be updated, you can update that under details. Okay, let me put up one of the questions here, because what I'm going to be talking about next is going to be relevant here. So Maximum Results team is asked, is there a way to just print the QR code? The answer is absolutely yes. However, take a look at this new function here as well, and then just use this QR code instead. So what I showed you before is just a open house registration form. But if you want to print a QR code, what that means is that you would like to advertise the open house. So what we need for that is a virtual open house. And that's available under this tab right here. So you would have a URL available for your virtual open house, which would require registration. So if I open this URL here, you can see that again, we have a registration, but a different type of registration now, because they're not coming into the open house. They are virtually visiting the property right there. Now, beforehand, I can also go ahead and add other stuff here. So for example, if you have a virtual streaming available for your open house, you can actually put those streaming start and end time here, and then the live stream link here as well. So if you have a Zoom live stream or a Facebook live stream, or you want to also virtually present your property, you can do that perfectly. So you'll put in your live stream links in here if they're available. If you have virtual reality link, you can put that in here as well. You can add floor plans, for instance. You have 3D visual tour, virtual tour embed code. You can add that in here as well. If you have a video tour embed code, you can add that in here as well. So you're basically adding more content to that page, other than just the information that you have available on MLS, which is available there. Pictures and all that sort of thing. Now, once you add these content, if you have them available as well, they're going to be available on this URL. And what you would do here is you're going to be able to print this QR code. The printable QR code is available here. So this is available for you to download and print in a larger size. Now this can be attached to your open house sign. It can be attached to your lawn sign. It would be an interesting to have. So let's imagine this. You have your for sale sign out at the front. Then you have a little rider at the bottom that says instant open house. And then you have this QR code printed and attached to that rider as well. So when people drive by the property or walking by the property and they see that rider saying instant open house, they're going to scan this QR code. It's going to pop up this registration form right here where they can register and then access all that information, the virtual walkthroughs, etc., on your on this page right here. This way, you're going to be generating lead using your open house signs or your for sale signs out in the lawns. Who else has done that before? So that's the QR code that you would want to print and use on print material. You can even print that on a flyer and send it to the neighborhood. So we have recently listed this property here. Scan this QR code and see a virtual open house right away, for instance. So all that can be an interesting campaign to run throughout the neighborhood, and this is your tool to go by. All right, so the other tabs that we have here is transactions and accounting. So this is where you would be able to add, income and expenses that would relate to this specific property in this specific transaction. I'm not going to get into this right now because it's a whole new subject, but take a look at the videos that we've had on accounting and financial modules, and you're going to be able to see me explaining these two tabs in detail. And obviously the pictures are available under the pictures tab here as well. So if you would like to change pictures, again, that will not be able to do that here for an MLS listing, but you could do that for non-MLS exclusive listings as well as pre-constructions as well. If you want to change those, you're going to be able to change the pictures under this tab right there. All right, so that's pretty much it. This is all of the items and features and functions that you have available under your listing manager. It's a very broad tool. It can allow you to do a lot of different things relating to your listing, and it's a very useful module and very important module within the suite of tools that we have available to you through REMARKETER. So I hope this has been informative. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas, please get in touch with us. We're more than happy to hear from you. Our email address is service@remarketer.ca, and you can contact us anytime. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again next week, same time. Have a good day.